So I've been using both corn and pine litter for the last 9 months, and today we'll put them both to the test and see which one is right for you. We'll be looking at durability, odor control, cleanup effort, the learning curve, and price. So when it comes to durability, what we want to do here is find one that you don't have to constantly replace. So corn litter here, I noticed after a couple of weeks, it does tend to break down into dust. And this dust can kind of stick to your wall or on the floor, and you need to wipe it down, which requires more frequent replacements. So pine litter, on the other hand, generally stays sturdy for as long as many months at a time. As long as it doesn't touch any pee, it's pretty much good to go. So the winner here is definitely pine. When it comes to odor control, you want to have a litter that doesn't make your house smell bad. Pine litter here has some natural scents to cover up the odors to an extent, but it's not as effective because the pine pellets are a little bigger, and to fully cover it up, your cat or kitten actually has to do a lot of work. Corn litter, on the hand, because it clumps and makes it easier to cover the odor, I find that generally, even though the cat doesn't cover it quite well, the clumping factor does make it easier to control some of the smells. So the winner here is clearly corn. When it comes to cleanup effort here, we want one that saves you time over and over again from cleaning it up. When it comes to pine litter, on the front end, you do have to scoop and then sift, but there's also very little tracking. So I use about 4 litter boxes with pine litter, and on a given week, there's maybe only 5 or 6 pellets that actually come outside the box, and it's very easy to just throw it back in. Corn litter, on the other hand, while it does clump, it does track a lot, and I've even used a litter box that has a guarded rail around it, and there's still dust or pellets that come out, and it's kind of annoying too. So the winner here is clearly pine. When it comes to the learning curve, we want to make sure that you have a litter that your cat can easily get used to. Some cats for pine litter do take some time to adjust to it, and you know there's an issue because even on the label of pine litter, they give you some instructions on how to get your cat used to it. Corn litter, on the other hand, has a texture very similar to clay. I find that cats or kittens don't really need a learning curve. They generally pick it up right away. And so the winner here is actually whoever your cat picks, because you know they're the ones that ultimately are the users. But if I had to pick one, I would pick corn. All right, when it comes to price, at the time of this recording, pine litter is generally around 2 times more expensive than corn. So right now on Amazon, corn litter comes in at around 3 to 8 cents per ounce. Pine litter comes in at around 6 to 13 cents around, which is about twice to 2.5 times more expensive. However, if you are near a Tractor Supply store in the United States, you can buy horse pellets, which can come in at around 1 cent per ounce. And essentially, I think it makes it a no-brainer to just go with pine litter, because even with corn, it's 3 times or more cheaper than corn if you use the horse version. But for kittens, on the other hand, I use corn because I found that even at 5 weeks old, when they're learning the litter box, they just can't figure out pine, and so they need something that's more manageable for their little paws too. So in the fostering room that they have 1 litter box with corn and then 1 with pine, and so sometimes some will use either one, but the idea is they can get used to both as they learn to use the litter box. Alright, so some final recommendations. If you are currently on clay litter, try out corn. The texture is very similar, and there should be no learning curve for your cat. If you go right to pine, your cat may not like it, and you could just end up wasting money. If you're on pine litter today, I would just stick with what you have, because the extra litter tracking that you get with corn for the clumping properties, I just don't think it's worth it. You'll find that every day or two, you'll basically have to vacuum or sweep it up, and it just gets a little annoying too. If you're on other types of litter, I don't have experience there, but let me know in the comments, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you around.